industry. She has worked in various domains such as pharma, e-commerce, ECM, shipping, and networking. So, married and happily married, and a mother of a 6-year-old. She likes to play guitar and try photography during her free time. Do you get any free time? I mean, I really want to know,
No,
Anandita, how you manage
that
that.
is very hard to find. Like
I'm
uh,
sure.
during
And
this COVID time, I did not even touch my guitar even for once.
okay, great. So we'd like to really know about about you, your experiences, and what you'd like to tell us about what exactly is readability all about. So over to you, Anandita. I'll
Yeah,
stop sharing my screen, Anandita, so that you can continue.
yeah, sure. Thank you, Pallavi. Okay, good morning, everyone. Let me just start my share. Okay. Hope you all can see this. Can you see the
Yes,
slides?
yes,
Okay.
Anandita.
Okay. So, as it is already mentioned, I'll be talking about readability and its role in technical documents. So, without further delay, let us get started. So, here is our agenda for today. We are going to know what is readability, why is it important, how can you improve the readability of your document, what are the factors to measure readability, and we will also see few readability tests and how the results are interpreted. And finally, how can we measure the readability of our documents? So, we'll start with the definition. As per Wikipedia, readability is the ease with which a reader can understand a written text. This is measured considering both the matter and manner of the text. By matter, we are talking about vocabulary, complexity of the sentence, syntax, SVA, voice. And by manner, we're talking about the font size, line height, line length, then their font colors and those things. So it is basically what you write and how you present. It considers everything about it. So in simple words, readability is the measure of how easily the reader can understand the content. Next. Okay, importance of readability. Since we are all writers, I assume we are all writers here. So when we are writing, that means we have a reader for our context. Now this means we must write in such a way that the readers find our document easy to understand and not lose interest at the same time. Our readers can be of varied level of understanding. Not everyone will know or understand everything we write. So we must write in such a way that we can reach a larger number of audience. And readability also helps us to make our document more unambiguous. Moreover, if you're writing for website or a web content, readability improves the page rank of your website. This is because Google page ranking takes readability into account for calculating the page rank of your website. And this means that the more readable your content is, the better the page rank will be. So that's why I have jotted down these 3 points here as the importance of readability to reach larger number of audience, make your document more understandable, and to improve the SEO of your website. Next. What are the methods to improve readability? First of all, avoid long sentences because nobody wants to read a long paragraph with long sentences. So break down your sentences into short, simple sentences and try to structure your document, your content in such a way that you use nested levels of headings. You have small paragraphs, and more than using paragraphs, it is better if you can use bulleted or non-bulleted lists, the numbered or non-numbered lists in your document. That makes your document more readable and are just looking at a glance, people would be able to find the correct information at the correct place. So, and minimize the use of complex words. You should choose simpler alternatives for your complex words, and avoid passive sentences. Removing the passive sentences from your content, it actually improves the readability score of your document considerably. Okay, next. Over several years, many researchers have used a lot of factors to measure readability. I've jotted down few of those factors here. These are like sentence length, syllable density, word familiarity, speed of perception, that means how fast can you understand the document, from how far can you read, and how fast can you read. If you are using like a lot of complex words, then the reading speed decreases. Visibility, eye movements, and then fatigue in reading. That means how tired you get to read and then grasp the content, the context of the document, the content. So these are the factors to measure readability. Next is readability test. So there are like hundreds of readability tests available. In fact, readability is a topic of research. Even today, constant research is going on this topic. So there could be like many more readability tests coming up even in future. So it is not possible for me to talk about all of them, but there are a lot of material available over the internet. You can go and search. There are many tests available. I'm going to talk about the four readability tests here. These are Gunning Fog Index, Smog, Forecast, and Flesch Kincaid readability test. So I'll start with Gunning Fog Index. In 1940s, Robert Gunning, he came up with this test to reduce fog in newspapers and business writings. This is evaluated based on sentence length and number of words with more than 2 syllables. So this is the formula for Gunning Fog Index. So here you can see the factors that, he had considered were total words in total sentences and the complex words in total words. So where complex words are the words with more than 2 syllables. So this is the formula, but this formula, it had few limitations. The limitations were like hard or complex words may not be difficult to understand, and all short words may not be easy to understand. For example, I've taken the example of interesting. Interesting is a complex word. It has got more than 2 syllables, and interesting is a word which almost everyone understands. If you write interesting in your content, nobody will have to grab a dictionary to understand the meaning of the word, because everyone knows interesting. It is a quite frequently used word. Whereas a word like panache, which is a short word, not many syllables, but this is not that frequently used, and not many people may know the meaning of this word. So this was one limitation for Gunning Fog Index. That's why they came up with smog, simple measure of gobbledygook. Gobbledygook means gibberish. G. Harry McLaughlin, he came up with more accurate and more easily calculated substitute for Gunning Fog Index in 1969. He suggested to multiply the length and uh, word length and sentence length rather than to add. See, in the previous formula in Gunning Fog Index, we are actually adding these factors. Whereas in this formula, we are multiplying this. So this is our formula for smog, wherein the polysyllable count is the number of words with more than 2 syllables in a sample of 30 sentences. Now, this smog is not preferred for all kinds of document. It is more used for testing the readability of consumer-oriented healthcare material. It is not suitable for all kinds of documents. So that's why. Okay, next came forecast. This was introduced by U.S. military in 1973. In military, they need to send wireless messages which are like not complete sentences. These are small phrases. So this particular formula, it uses only a vocabulary element, and it makes making it useful for text without complete sentences. So this is the formula where n is the number of single syllable words in 150 word sample. So this formula, it can be used for testing the readability of surveys, MCQs. It is not fit for testing the readability of a complete document or no textbook or any novel or blogs. So as it does not consider the complete sentence for calculating the score. Next, Flesh Kincaid readability test. This is the most widely used and well-known readability test that is available to us. Rodolph Flesch and Peter J. Kincaid, they developed these tests in 1975. These tests are more trusted, accurate, and widely used readability tests. So these are a set of two tests. One is Flesch reading is, the other one is Flesch Kincaid grade level. So here we have the formulas for them. So it's mostly using these factors: total words in total sentence and total syllables in total words. The same factors they're using in two different formulas. But these two tests are inversely proportional. That means a text with a comparatively higher score on reading is will have a lower score on grade level. Now we are going to see how the scores are interpreted. In reading ease, so this is the interpretation. The scores are like from 100 to 90. If your document has got a score for 100 to 90, it means the document is very easy to read. A person with a education of 5th grade will be able to understand. That means it will no, you can reach more number of audience with this type of score. Now as the score decreases, you can see the difficulty level of the document increases. So the score for 0 to 10, it has a difficulty level of professional. That means a person with a university graduation degree would need to have a university graduation to understand the what you have written in that document. Next, Flesh Kincaid grade. So here also, as you can see in the chart, so this is like the reading level. And now this reading level it is segregated into three different levels. So for example, if your document has score from 0 to 6, that means your document is basic, and almost everybody can understand your document. So like documents like children textbook, reading books, story books, those will fall in this type of scores, this particular category. And the books like Harry Potter and a little more complex books like novels or something, which are for like bigger kids. So or yeah, so those will fall into this particular category, average, because people with an education of say 12th grade school level education would they will be able to understand what is being written in that document. And if a document has score more than 12, then a person would need a university degree. Documents like academic paper, journals, those will fall into these kind of reading level. However, if you are writing a blog or something and you want to reach to the maximum number of your audience, it is said that we should better aim for grade level 8. Next, where can we apply our readability test, Flash Kincaid readability test? Okay. So if you're writing any concept or procedure for your customer, you can apply these readability tests there and check the score of your document. Then if you're writing API descriptions for your customer, your description must be readable enough. So how do you know if it is readable? You check the readability score using um, these readability tests. If you're writing a content for your website, if you're writing any marketing material, brochure, or those kind of things, then yeah, there also you can use the readability scores. If you're writing terms and conditions, proposals, or SLAs, or suppose the EULA content for your application, there also you can use the readability score. It boosts the SEO performance of your website. So of course you can check the readability, how readable your web content is before you post it. And if you are choosing any textbook or any training material for a training program, there also you can check the readability score and choose uh, the material accordingly. So, or even if you are writing an article for your newsletter, there also you can apply this readability test and check the scores. Next is, how can we measure the readability of our documents? So like over the internet, you will find lots of applications to check the readability score. I know Grammarly as is one such application which can give you readability scores. There could be other applications also. For some could be free, some could be, you have to shell out money. Uh, but since all of us are writers, so all of us must have access to MS. So MS Word is one such application which we have at our disposal to check this scores. So I'll show you how can you check the scores in MS Word. Let me just give you one short demo. So this is a content I have taken from internet. So to check the readability, you go to File, go to Options, then here you go to Proofing. And then under, when correcting spelling and grammar in Word, in this section, you have this small option, show readability statistics. So you select this option and you select OK. Then you go to review and you do a spell check, grammar check for your document. You will get this readability statistics. You can see the readability scores here. So I have higher reading score and lower grade level score. So my document, this particular content is not that bad. It is quite good, quite readable. Okay, and also in my company, in my organization, we use Matcap Flare also. So Matcap Flare also gives us a way to check the readability scores. In Matcap Flare, if you have Matcap Flare, like, you can go to tools and then select text analysis. This particular box will open, and there you select readability scores and select analyze. That will give the readability score for that particular topic for which you have opened this text analysis box. So Matcap Flare is also another such tool, and I'm sure any other authoring tool, if you are using, uh, those tools will also have some kind of ways to check the readability scores. So you all can go and explore the tools, that the authoring tools you are using, and you can check the readability scores there. If it does not have a option to give the readability score, you can always come back to MS Word and check the readability scores there. So with this, I come to the end of my presentation.
Thanks, Anindita. This was very informative.
Thank you.
And we have one question right now. So I'll just read that question. This question comes from Shrutika. Are these tests available as a feature in any of the word processors or tools that writers usually use? MS Word has Flash Kincaid. I'm curious about fog and smog tests.
Those I have not seen in any of the authoring tools I have used. Maybe there are other applications available over internet to check those tests, but in technical writing we mostly use the Flash Kincaid scores. So those readability tests you can always check using these applications, these softwares we have, MS Word and the others.
Great,
Okay,
thank
thanks,
you.
thanks, Anindita.
Anybody else has question? So
Yeah,
Anindita Ghosh, Anindita Basu says, very informative session. Thank you so much. I had been looking for this kind of info for quite some time now. Thank you, Anindita. I will have to spell the surname also to differentiate. Anindita Basu.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, somebody was asking a question. Please go ahead. Introduce yourself and go ahead.
hey, hi, I'm Gayatri here. Thank you, Anindita, for the session. So I was just wondering how often do we actually get to run these tests in real time? Because there is a lot of constraints under which we are actually documenting. When I say constraints, I mean we have a style guide already. We are, and at the end of the day, we are also running out of time, and we are mostly closer to release. We are having to publish. So, if the score is very less, how often do we have to revisit and rewrite? And it also has to abide by the style guide. So, do you have any thoughts on that? How often do you run it? Because we have an author assistant as part of our authoring tool, but I hardly we really get to run that because there is we are pulled in so many different directions that if we have one more check and one more measure and one more as such we have peer reviews and tech reviews, etc. And if we have one more review on top of it, it's going to really increase the amount of labor that we have to put in that in a short period. So how much do you use? That was my question.
Okay. Yeah, I agree to know everything that you have said, that we always work under pressure, and mostly writers, we get our information towards the end of the sprint, so the time crunch is always there. But in my organization, like we have introduced a readability test as part of our peer review process. That is, before sending the document for the peer review, we writers, we have decided to run the readability test to check the document for ourselves how readable it is. Now again, if we are writing, if your document is writing, we are writing for technical, some technical document, and we have a different set of audience, so the readability score in that case, it will not be, the readability scores of no, we cannot stick to 8 and 50%, and those scores will not be valid. In that case, our readability score will increase, because for the matter in the content, because the matter itself is quite technical. So a person with a fifth grade of education will certainly not understand what I have written in a document which is highly technical. So these courses, it is completely at your discretion. So you have to be the judge of your document, and think that decide whether the document is good or not, readable or not. But yeah, if you structure your document using the bullet points and the numbered list and the proper headings, and you try to remove all the passive sentences, because in technical writing we do not encourage passive sentences. So if you do all that, your readability score will certainly improve.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Anindita. Thank you. Yes, I think you answered my question altogether. Thank you.
So Tanushri asks, do we have any plugins for, say, for example, Google Docs?
I'm not sure. You can check.
Okay,
I'm not sure about that.
no problem. Okay, so I think this is one thing basically for readability, like this has been existing, I believe, in MS Word for ages now, Anandita. But
Yeah.
many of us don't know. So this is how such a lovely session, lets us know about the hidden features. So like many have mentioned, Reeti, Shrutika, Ambrish, Anindita, all have mentioned that. Okay, thanks a lot for bringing such kind of information. So to add to this, like people are asking Google Docs or anything, go ahead and explore the tools that you are using. Okay, probably it will be hidden. Maybe go to their help docs, try to find out. Maybe you can find. Okay, and yes, in case you do find, do let the group know so that others get information. Anybody else has question? Otherwise, we'll wind up the session.
Hi, Anindita, Revati here. Just one question. I'm sorry. This is when can you just go to the on the review tab? Where exactly did you see this in Word?
Sorry, what? I did not quite get it.
No, I'm saying in Microsoft Word, you have to go to the review tab and click what?
Yeah. I'll show you. I'll show you. You have to go on the review tab. You can go to this spelling and grammar check here.
Okay.
That will give you the readability statistics. But before that, you have to enable this feature in your Word. So for that, you have to go to options.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
I did that. I
Yeah.
mean, as we were trying, I was trying it within one document I have here. But when I click spelling and grammar, it just opens a separate tab. I mean, it opens a separate pane on one side and gives me suggestions for it. But I
Yeah,
can't
so,
see that.
so you have to, you have to either ignore the suggestions or take the suggestions and make sure your document doesn't have any spelling or
Oh,
grammatical
okay.
errors.
Right,
Once it
right,
is
right,
done,
right.
then you will get see the
Okay,
scores.
perfect. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, thank you.
Great.
Thank
So
you.
anybody else has question? The last call for question. I think we are done. Great. Thank you, Anindita, so much. It was very informative session, and I'm sure many will start using it and try for other tools also. So thanks a lot, Anindita, for your time. I'm glad
Thanks,
that
Puneet.
despite your release, you found out time and volunteered. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.